Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sports Doin. We are back with a post-match live. Uh, the Motera is back again. It's back. It's big. It's magnificent.
It's
Uh,
not
Yeah,
Motera.
it is
it's
Motera. It is
it
Motera. It
is
has
it
the
is
name Motera.
Narendra Modi
There
Stadium.
have
Yes.
been uh, there have been some other name changes as well, which we will totally avoid discussing because we know no one is interested in that. I understand. At least we are
Yeah.
not definitely.
True.
What we'll talk about today is how horrible England were and there is some behavioral aspects of the game that we'll definitely discuss about, and
Yeah.
obviously how fantastic the hometown boy Akshar Patel was. uh, Fabulous 6 for following up on a fabulous 5 for on his debut test. So that's
Yeah.
quite a start, isn't it, Atul? I mean, yes, we have Nathan I think is just trying to adjust himself in a good position. Nathan will be joining soon. There's Prathamesh, and we'll see who all will join us today. Even I'm not very sure as it stands. So we'll start with Atul. Uh, bhai, matlab,
Anurag,
yeah,
just 5 minutes pehle, we were
yeah,
talking about that Kohli should
yeah,
stay on
yeah,
the crease. He listened
yeah,
to us and he
yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not much of a believer in these jinxing and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, come on, matlab, how
no, we didn't
I
jinx it.
actually
We
didn't.
didn't jinx it. We didn't jinx
No,
it.
no, no.
We
I'm
were
not
just
talking about
hoping
that.
that he stays. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, exactly. And I'm not talking about that. I'm just wondering. I actually didn't get to see uh, Virat Kohli's dismissal as yet. I just want to see how he got
He
out.
chopped it on. He chopped it onto the
Yeah,
Yeah.
stumps.
Chopped it onto
yeah,
the
I heard
stumps.
that, but I just wanted to see how badly he did chop it on. I mean, chop on itself is a bad thing in itself. But Atul,
Yeah.
a word from you on how brilliant Akshar Patel was today. We'll get to England and their batting very soon with Nathan. But firstly, a word on Akshar Patel from you.
Before just before Akshar Patel, congratulations to Ishant. I think from everyone in the
Fabulous.
panel for his 100 tests.
Atul,
And
if I could just add, I mean, on his 100th test, he got a memento from the president of the country. How many cricketers actually get to say that? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he deserves that.
And I think Ishant was the one who started it. But Dominic Sibley didn't know at that point of time. It was a good ball, just a bit shorter. And then again, that extra bounce in the pitch helped him edge taken. That was Ishant's contribution. And from that point of time, it has been the hometown boy, call it the home state boy, Akshar Patel's day. And again, I can see him on the screen right now. And I think Akshar's day just went from good to best in every aspect it could have.
Yeah.
Just bowling those kind of lines, just pitching it at the perfect place that the arm ball goes straight in, confuses the batsman, and at the same time, the one that turns that
Yeah.
causes the trouble to the batsman as well. Because Zach Crawley in the start was looking phenomenal, and the only problem he faced during his time was when Akshar was bowling those kind of lines. So all in all, brilliant from Akshar, darting in those ball. I just love it when those left arm spinners dart in the ball. Even Jack Leach has been doing that. I liked it as well. So I just hope ki Akshar does this in the second inning as well. But just a 6 for in is just his second test. Kudos to Akshar Patel.
Yeah, it's indeed fantastic, and obviously to the other who is on his way to becoming a legend himself. Is on 397. It doesn't have anything to do with him reaching 400 and him being a legend as such. But fantastic stuff from Ravichandran Ashwin as well, isn't it, Prathamesh? Like, especially that the way he set up Ollie Pope or the so rude, the dismissals were just so beautiful to watch. He even both these
Ashwin.
spinners are absolutely all over the place. I mean, all over the place in a good way, weren't they?
Yeah. I think even Murli Kadek talked about this in commentary that the major difference why India are able to exploit whatever is there in the pitch for the spinners right now on day one is because the accuracy is there. Out of the six balls, there are six balls that are landing in the good areas, which is a criticism of Jack Leach, which he seems to have getting slightly better at in this game. Talking about Ashwin, I mean, he's just a musician. He is someone who, probably when the world stops thinking, that's when his thinking cap really, gets onto his head and he
Prathamesh,
creates.
if I could just interrupt you for a second, the day has just
Yeah,
ended. Just
yeah,
ended a couple of minutes ago. India, as it stands, at 99 for three after 33 overs.
yeah.
Rohit Sharma is batting alongside Ajinkya Rahane. Let's see what happens. Sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Yeah, so the two Mumbaikars batting again. Let's hope they put on the same show they did in the second test. Coming back to this, Ashwin topic, I mean, Ashwin is just a brilliant reader of the game. He's someone who understands the game. He probably has those visualizations where he tries to bowl in certain areas, and probably he wants probably the net batsman or the or the net coaches or any who is probably a part of the team. He wants them to play in a certain way as well. We have heard a lot of ways in which Ashwin actually trains, which are unique in a way. So I
Yeah,
think that is really good from Ravi Ashwin, and I think we have always known why he's such a good exploiter of conditions. You can
yeah,
give all the conditions to the world to every bowler in the world, but I think Ashwin is someone who doesn't need the conditions, but when he gets them, he knows how to exploit them really well. This is like giving Jimmy Anderson, a green top and on Trent Bridge where he can absolutely run riot. In the same way, if you give the right conditions to Ashwin, he can run right. But apart from that, no, even if the conditions aren't right, these guys know how to bowl in good areas. Try to keep it
yeah,
tight. You looked at the captaincy from India, which I felt was a major difference for the spinners in both Ashwin Akshar and Jack Leach. Wherein Indians were, they were trying to keep it tight. They had a lot of catching fielders. They had fielders inside the 30-yard circle, on the offside, on the leg side. Whereas if you look at there was one field at long on for Ashwin that was probably just to entice a drive. But if you look at the English captaincy or the English field setting, they had that field at a deep point all the time for Virat and Rohit, which is something which doesn't suit ideally because these guys then can go for a flashy drive even if it's slightly up in the air. It doesn't get caught by any fielder, so that risk is totally negated. So then they can go hard at the ball rather than playing soft and it getting edge to slip. So I think that's where Joe Root kind of got it wrong. And but yeah, Ashwin just brilliant. And we will talk about England with Nathan ideally. One stat
yeah.
which I wanted to bring up, which I know a lot of people talk about 2014, 2014, 2014. It has been 2014 that the last time Virat Kohli got out to James Anderson, and he hasn't got out to him since. So let's just use that stat as well while we're talking about 2014.
I don't know why is that even necessary, Prathamesh? Because I think just brought it up absolutely randomly. But again, coming to Nathan, we'll take a few comments after Nathan goes on his monologue. I can see he's upset. I can see he has a lot of things to say today. Uh, Nathan, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the pitch? Do you want to start with the batsmanship, which was absolutely bad, poor? I mean, there was no application. That's what I would say. But again, whatever you are entitled to whatever you want to say. And again, the bowling as well. I mean, even the team selection. I mean, they went with four seamer. I mean, potentially four seamers. Do you think that made any sense on a track like this?
Well, we was having that discussion before, weren't we, about if we should go 4-1 or 3-2.
Yeah,
Personally, I think we got it wrong. We should have gone
yeah,
3-2. But I don't know where to start. We've got that many. The team selection I thought was wrong with Johnny Bairstow playing. I would have kept Burns and put Crawley to 3. I know Crawley did well today, but I still would have put him to 3. The straight ball just seemed to look like a mystery ball to our batsmen. I don't think it was I actually think it was skill rather than application.
yeah,
I just don't know. We couldn't
Nathan,
tell.
Nathan, wasn't Johnny Bairstow just the most plumb thing that could have happened to Johnny Bairstow, and he still reviewed it. He did a Shane Watson at that point of time.
Yeah, well, I missed it live, and I only saw the replay at first interval. I don't know what was going through his head, unless he thought he was on perf and thinking it's going to bounce over the wickets. I just don't know what goes through his head. But yeah, back to I was actually thinking it's more skill today,
yeah,
and we just didn't know how to play the straight ball. Sometimes you can get out to the straight ball when it's a bit of a mystery, and it's just the odd one. But there were 6 today. Were they really
yeah,
that difficult for 6 of you to get out? I don't think it was. Then obviously with the ball, we started all right. I personally think we were very unlucky with the ball today. I thought I suppose I can't remember if it was Gill or Sharma where it was umpire's call.
yeah,
Live, I gave it out.
Yeah.
And I think if we look at the other couple of dismissals of batsmen today, the umpire giving them out on the England side. So I think we were a little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
sometimes when you play bad, you get bad luck. so we can only blame ourselves. But I just hope we can play. This song that's coming to my head is "It Can Only Get Better."
Yeah, yeah. From here, there's
Nathan,
only
Nathan,
upwards. I think there's nothing. There's
Nathan.
there's no further you can go down. So I think let's see what happens. Yeah, Atul.
But Nathan, I would like you to talk about Zach Crawley because I've been talking about him that I wanted to see him play in this tour. And the first time he played, he showed the temperament, he showed the class, he showed the technique how to tackle those kind of balls. When he was playing, Akshay did trouble him a bit. So your thoughts on just Zach Crawley? No one else because everyone else wasn't that good. Just Zach
Yeah,
Crawley for the time he played in there.
What I liked about it was he was scoring runs, and he actually looked to be quite busy at the crease today. And
yeah,
the odd ball that was poor, the very very rare balls that you bowl that are poor, he put them away for four. So I think that's where he actually got the difference today was the temperament of, well, I'm here to score. There's going to be a ball that's going to get my name on it. It's Indian
yeah,
pitches. What do you expect? So I've got limited time, so I'm just going to go full out and, well, not full out. That's reckless, but he's gone out to score runs basically. That's what I liked
yeah,
today, and I think Rohit did that quite well today as well. And that's
yeah,
look at
Yeah,
who the two highest scorers are today. The ones that look like they're trying
yeah,
to score runs. You don't need to go
yeah,
exactly.
reckless and think it's an ODI and think I've got 50 overs.
Yeah,
But I also think our batting lineup numbers aren't right. Folks should not be batting at 7. He can't
yeah,
handle. He's a good batsman. He can't bat with the tail though, and only takes one
yeah,
wicket, and then he's with the tail. So I think we need to start thinking about putting him up to probably 5, Stokes 6,
yeah,
Pope 7. He can't open because obviously his wicket keeping as
Nathan,
well, so that'd be a bit
I
hard.
think the technique Ben Fox has, he can even play as a number 4. I'm not even kidding at this very moment. The way he plays, and you
yeah,
can have that Johnny Bairstow at the end to just come in and hit the ball out of the park because I think Johnny
yeah,
Bairstow is better at that compared to just coming in and defending because it was pretty evident.
it's too
Yeah,
much of a
it might
responsibility, isn't it, for him?
yeah.
for Ben Fox or Bairstow.
John Besto.
Best of,
What
yeah,
would you say on this?
I think Nathan should answer this one because I think I agree with Anurag that I
Is
think it's
number
too
three
much.
too much of a responsibility, Nathan, for Besto?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I just had something I had to deal with work. Sorry, what was the question?
So do you think the number 3 position is a bit too much of a responsibility for Johnny Besto?
Yeah, he only gets in to fill in the numbers. I don't think should be in the top. I don't think he should be in the test team. Never mind top 3. He probably will be all right if we put him to 7. We could always slap him
yeah,
down a little bit to 7, and he can bat with the tail. Because
Yeah,
what was it? Was it about 20 balls in? Folks was batting with the tail again. Archer, I know he hit a few sixes in the IPL, but isn't a bowler all rounder at all. And then
yeah,
obviously we've got the other 3. So yeah, but Bairstow
yeah,
shouldn't be in the test team whatsoever. That's
yeah,
the different debate.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, see, before we take the comments, one thing about I would definitely want to put there about the umpire's call. I think again, the MCC apparently are having discussions on this. That it will go on for a few days, and there potentially we could see a call being taken on umpire's call, potentially that getting scrapped. I hope that happens because if the ball is hitting the stumps, it is hitting
it's
the
hitting
stumps.
the
I think
stump. Yeah,
I mean the I understand when DRS at the advent of DRS, we understand maybe when the ball is closer to the stumps, there is that little bit of doubt, little bit of discrepancy due to which the
yeah,
50% rule came in. Now with the amount of technology you have, I think the at least the accuracy has gone up significantly, and maybe you
yeah,
can trust the technology to do that for you. And
yeah.
so
Also,
I
not the
think it's
main.
about time empires because as I said, yes, this is what I said yesterday. I think this is what I said to Atul in
Yeah,
the in our live session with more than a game. Uh, this empire's call is such a snake; it could bite anyone in the ass on any given day. There is
absolutely.
no particular loyalty to it, and
Yeah,
it has done it for India. I
yeah,
mean, Virat Kohli of all people is perhaps the biggest victim
yeah,
of the empire's call so many times in the past on so many
yeah,
important occasions, if I must add.
yeah.
I
Also,
don't want to
Anurag, like,
dwell into it. Yeah,
if you look at the technology in a way, the only question, if the like in LBW, I know the ball hits the stump, which is very obvious. Would you consider the bail as a part of the stump or not? Is the question in the LBW decision. Also, they need to be clear on the fact key that 50% of the ball that needs like 50.01 or 10, whatever needs to be inside. Just make it a clear headline. Ki, okay, this is what we are going to keep. If it is anywhere between 40, like between 50% to 50.05% as well, we might probably not give it out, probably put some clarity in it, because the umpire's call, basically what it is doing is
Prathamesh,
it's, yeah,
Prathamesh, again it will get confusing. What I
that's the
personally
thing,
feel,
right? See,
I know they do it because they think there are discrepancies in the technology. It's
yeah,
not that accurate as they think it is.
yeah,
But to be honest, if they had to get this out, and they have to
yeah,
get it this out as soon as possible, I think if
yeah,
they show if the ball
yeah,
is hitting the stump or even the bail, that's out.
yeah.
That's it. Just do that.
Atul, Atul, I genuinely feel like in this whole DRS debate, I feel like, first of all, I to personally think either solve it or just scrap it out all together. We don't need DRS at all.
No, no,
Or
no, no.
else,
I
or
won't say
else,
that. No, 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 no.
or else
I'm telling
you
you
give
something. I'm
Totally
telling you
disagree.
you
something.
give the
Yeah.
umpire, yeah, yeah,
Prathamesh,
yeah.
Prathamesh, we can track the trajectory of a rocket going to the moon, but you think we can track the trajectory of a ball that is pitched
That's the
on a
difference,
Motera
right,
pitch?
Atul? That's the difference, right, Atul? Because the kind of money that's involved there is a completely different ball game. So you can track that. But coming to this solution, I feel that you could give the umpires as well a small device wherein they could view it themselves, make it a little more transparent for them. Because what happens is the on-field umpire has absolutely no control over what happens out there, in the third umpire's chair. That is something that they could also look at on, because I feel sometimes the umpire's
They have
call,
to.
probably the
See, Prathamesh,
umpire doesn't even
just
have
to
the
interrupt.
clarity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to interrupt. See, I mean, see, I know in football also right now with the advent of VAR,
yeah, yeah,
there have been plenty of offside calls, which is such a subjective matter. It is
yeah,
either off or not. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah, there comes the tail, there comes the
yeah,
elbow. I don't know if
yeah,
what else potentially come in. It's even in DRS right now. It has to be more objective, right? It is
yeah,
supposed to be objective. It is gone or it's gone. I see. I In that sense, I would disagree with you in a sense. It doesn't matter if the on-field umpire has a call in that or not. I mean, I understand what you're suggesting as to umpire should be
yeah.
also having a view, but is it really necessary? I mean, see again. Trust whatever the technology you have. I understand the amount of
Prathamesh,
Yeah,
involved is
what
not
Anurag?
maybe is definitely not comparable. Just a second,
yeah,
Atul. It's not comparable to what the rocket science or everything. I'm
yeah,
definitely I'm the least qualified person to talk about anything like that. But
yeah,
I think enough money has went in, and we've
yeah.
seen so much. I mean, if you see the ball tracking in 2005 to ball tracking in 2021 right now, there's been such
There's a huge
significant change.
difference. Yeah,
There's a
huge
huge
difference.
difference. I think it's. I think at this point, maybe not being a technology expert, I think it might be a little bit of brag to say this, but I think it's fine. You can just
Yeah.
go with it. You can trust it. You're just
The,
making
the,
it
the problem
more and more
is the
complicated.
problem is Anurag, the companies
No, no,
who launch
you're
DRS
doubting it.
themselves.
You're doubting its
Yeah,
accuracy.
the
You're
companies
doubting its
themselves claim to
accuracy.
have a lack of accuracy in it. So that's
No,
the
no, no.
problem.
You're doubting its accuracy. You're doubting its
Yeah,
accuracy. At the same time, you're 100% sure it is hitting 50.1% of the ball. ये क्या बकचोदी है भाई?
exactly.
I
That's
mean,
that's the
that
issue,
doesn't make
right?
sense, right?
This is where the rules are not clear. This is where the rules don't make sense. Like when the company
And
releases
Prathamesh,
it out. Yeah, yeah. Atul, let me just complete this first.
yeah, yeah, sure.
When the company releases the software out, and I think this has happened, in the previous statements as well that the companies released, they've said that you cannot trust it 100%, but you need to make the rules accordingly. The problem is
Hmm.
the interpretation that is going wrong. The way they're using the interpretation of technology is going wrong. You're right in a way, Anurag, and I think Atul as well. I can agree the fact that if the ball is hitting the stumps, it's out. Make it as objective as that. Probably the
Hmm.
impact is the only question where LBW will still have that umpire's call. That's what I feel. Impact is a very minute difference of 50% of the ball either hitting or not hitting. It doesn't matter whether the ball clips the bales or it destroys the bales or destroys the stump. It's the impact. The impact will be always under question because it's such a minute thing and that needs to be noticed. I think if the
See,
accuracy from the
hmm.
company also improved, then
Yeah,
you could probably scrap that altogether. Maybe that is the only reason why umpire's call exists, is because the accuracy of technology is not there.
yeah. See,
Well,
again, as far as that impact is concerned, even that is potentially, if it
Yeah,
is measurable that a ball is hitting 50.1%, it is also measurable whether or not the impact is 50%, in the line or 50% outside the line. So I think if they can, if that is really as accurate as they think it is, I think, see, I think we'll be seeing some different calls. Not being the best of technology experts, I know we can only go up to a point. I
yeah,
think Nathan has something to say. Yeah,
no, I was just going to add the reason for the umpire's call will be the whole point
yeah,
of DRS is for an umpire's howler. So when he's made an
yeah,
absolute bad
yeah,
decision. So those sort of ones where it's 50 say 52-48, it's not in for them sort of decisions. And
yeah,
it's back to giving it back to the umpire.
yeah.
But there seems to be a lot recently, or it feels like there's been a lot that have been umpires call. I don't know if it's
but
just a
again,
feel or if it's true, but it just feels like there's a lot of umpire calls at the moment.
yeah,
Yeah,
again, Nathan, see, I don't understand why it is totally necessary, especially in a game like cricket where every decision is objective. See, in football, you understand when there is a penalty, a person is diving. You're making a subjective interpretation, whether or not he's dived, or whether or not the person, he's really
yeah,
was shoved down the ground. There is a subjective interpretation to it. In cricket, everything is objective. It is either yes or no. Well, let it be the LBW, let it be, as far as the catches are concerned, close range catches are concerned, it's down to the cameras. It's down to the cameras that are available. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes even the best of cameras, they don't really capture what we have. Okay,
yeah,
in that sense, maybe you can bring in the umpire's call. Maybe that the we have the soft signal right now.
yeah. Soft
I
signal.
sometimes I find that concept to be ridiculous, but okay, even that is fine. But I think LBW is one area where I think there can be some changes that they can bring in. Let's see what happens there. I think we've ignored the comments for too long, and it's absolutely rampaged up here. I think it's going to take at least 10 minutes to
Yeah,
complete this. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Nathan, you have something to add?
No, sorry, I'm just showing something on my phone.
Yeah, so okay, fine. So we'll start the comments now. Masoom says lowest first innings total against India, 106 by Bangladesh at Kolkata, 112 by England at Ahmedabad. Totally incidentally, these are the first two day-night tests on Indian soil. Yes. Uh, Rohan OP on predicting 100 for India. Yes, exactly. I think Rohan did say we'll be 100 for two on a
yeah,
TSD live on Instagram. I was actually a little skeptical as to whether or not Indians will approach it that way, but as it turns out, we did, and we
yeah,
lost one more wicket than what Rohan predicted. But I think kudos to him on that regard. Fair play award to Root and Co today. So touched. I think yeah, we can totally
Yeah,
sense the
so
sarcasm there.
just going back to the last comment about Bangladesh being the day nighter, I think that was in
Yeah,
our thoughts in the team selection today of going four seamers, because in the first innings of that test, all 10 wickets went to the seamers. So I'm wondering
yeah.
if that played a part in our team selection today.
I understand, Nathan, but Kolkata that day provided a slightly different pitch. I mean, it
yeah,
was far from being dry, and there was tremendous amount of moisture on the pitch, and there's plenty
yeah,
of assistance bowlers also. Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, the team management, especially if we've seen Silverwood and Root, they've came in, they were like touching, they are almost put their face on the pitch, and they were testing it and whatnot. We've seen some sort of little weird visuals as well, like they were going all out on the pitch. They wanted, I think, at least they could have. I mean, 4-1 was a bit too much. I felt at least they should have gone with at
yeah,
least two spinners. 4-1 was a
yeah,
way too much. I mean, that's what I
yeah.
think is going to bite them tomorrow.
Especially considering Anurag that Ben Stokes is not bowling at the best of his form.
Yeah, again, that adds to it as well. So potentially three good bowlers. So Masoom Jain adds England failed the trail by spin again. 226 of the first 100 balls bowled today were by Ashwin and Akshar, and the fourth most spin bowled in the opening 50 overs and innings since 2006. England was formed. Yes, yeah, I think after a point, I think Virat Kohli realized this one is tailor made for Akshar and Ashwin, and he went on with them. Not to mention the
Yeah,
terrible captaincy. Coming on to bowling from one end with Leach from the other one was an obvious call, in my opinion. Okay, we'll get to that, Siddharth. I think the controversy that you're talking about, I think that definitely deserves some. I'll bring that to the panel in a few minutes. Himanshu Prajapati, I think we've seen him for the first time. Thank you so much, Himanshu. Apparently, he says he has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Himanshu. I think we are At this point, we are 989 subscribers. We are inching closer towards the 1,000 mark. So thank you so much. It's because of all of you people that we are in this position. So thank you again. England have now passed their lowest ever all-out score in India, 102 made in Mumbai in 1981. The previous second lowest score, 134, was made in the second test of the series. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dodgy pitches or what?
Himanshu, Himanshu asked, "आप कानपुर से हो क्या भैया?" I don't think any of us in this
Yeah.
live is from
Analyst.
Kanpur. Definitely not Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Masum again adds, in the series, Akshay has drawn an edge or miss with 27% of his deliveries. Yes, I think that's what we were talking, Atul, in the other live that we just did. He was so spot on with his accuracy. So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, he was going to drive so many of them. That's the fourth
Yeah.
best for us, minimum 50 overs.
He's
I
probably
don't think he
thinking
bowled
Test
50 overs,
cricket's
did he?
easy, that
In a
Axar.
series, I'm sorry. In a series, okay, sorry. In a series,
Yeah.
only Ajmal and Schilling are ahead. That's good.
Yeah.
I was just
Agreed.
considering if
Nathan. Nathan probably he feels that Test cricket is something it was made for, rather than it feeling easy
yeah.
for him.
Potentially. England's sweep percentage versus spin in this series. First test 9%, second test 9%, third test 4%. I don't know, maybe the numbers are a little deceiving, but I felt they went for the sweep shot a little more in the first test. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't match the numbers, but in the second test it gradually declined. Third test, I mean, obviously we didn't see them bat a lot, but we did see far less of the sweep shot, maybe
Yeah.
because of how much the ball was turning as well. We'll
Yeah.
get to that again. Ravichandran Ashwin has dismissed two right-handers from around the wicket in the same innings on four occasions. Two of them have been in this series. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. And Ravichandran Ashwin is on 397. He's getting there. Picking three
Yeah.
seamers is a mistake considering Stokes as the bowling fit, says Kalyan. Okay, that's something he's mentioning to you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no beating around
Nathan
it. I think it's
agrees.
quite an obvious say that it was a bad call.
Yeah. 68 deliveries for Zach Crawley's half century. It's the fastest 50 by an English opener in the first innings of a test since Marcus Trescothick's 61 ball effort versus West Indies in July. Oh,
I'm
I mean, that takes us back a long time.
That's old.
I'm
That's proper
certain
old.
Cook got a quicker 50 at one stage. I remember him getting a very quick
But
50.
he says it's
Someone
the
said,
first innings of a test. Maybe that's where
oh, first innings of a
Yeah.
test. Sorry, I didn't see that bit.
maybe
Yeah.
Apologies.
that's where it
Cooks was the
gets
third.
filtered that way. Yeah. Eight fours in the first session for Crawley in the last 8 fours in the first session for Crawley in the last decade. English openers have hit more force than this in the first session of a test only on three occasions. Cook 10 once and 9 once, and Crawley himself 10 last year. Yeah, Crawley he's quite a positive player, and you'll see him
Yeah.
garner more and more of these records in the future. In Test cricket, Johnny Bairstow has been out LBW or bowled 39 times since the start of
Wow.
2016. Nobody else has been out more often in that manner over this period. You usually expect tailenders to have that kind of that's a very embarrassing record to hold at this
Yeah.
point in time. I mean, we
Only
must say.
39. For us England fans, it feels like
Yeah,
390.
yeah, I understand that. We're joined by Sritama here. Hi, Sritama. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, not really. I'm a bit annoyed right
Okay.
now, and I want to really ask Nathan about the Rohit Sharma stumping. Do you think his foot was grounded?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we
Yeah.
actually didn't get there. Yeah. Rohit, I mean, Nathan, what do you have to say?
He
That
agrees.
was
He agrees.
that was about 10, 15 minutes towards the end, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just behind the line. It has to be very slowed down, and I have to literally see it frozen. It's probably one of the closest calls you could ask for, and I felt quite tired, but it was just
Yeah, but
behind the line for me.
for a close call, as a person who wants to, you like watch the game properly, like
Yeah.
watch every aspect of it. I thought that I was robbed of a chance to actually look at it clearly. So these close calls are
Yeah.
something that even it's important for us to understand. So if we like go by example, because the rules keep changing a bit, and sometimes the public doesn't know how uh, you know. Intricate these rules are. So for someone like me, I got a glimpse, then I watched the replays, of course. But the time that the TV umpire spent on that replay was so less. And I don't agree
Yeah.
with all those chatter that you're trying to save time. But sorry, a wicket is very important. You cannot say that you're wasting time on a wicket when it's already a review has already been taken. So I'm quite annoyed because I thought I was robbed of a chance to actually look at it clearly. I didn't get the right angles. It could have been zoomed, it could have been seen properly, but as a person, a neutral viewer, a neutral spectator, it was totally. It wasn't even a broad it wasn't even Stuart Broad bowling. So I was totally neutral there, and it seemed very like irksome.
Mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised you didn't ask me a Stuart Broad question, or is it because he didn't bowl, or is it because he didn't get any wickets?
But he got his chances. He was unlucky. So was Anderson. He bowled well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get to that. Sitama, right now we're just taking a few comments.
Sure.
Once we're done, we'll give you 5-10 minutes for a nice decent monologue on whatever topic you want. Masoom adds, Ishan makes his 100th Test appearance today. His longevity is remarkable. Yes, indeed. Since he debuted,
Yeah.
only two have bowled more in Test cricket: Stuart Broad and James Anderson. I know a lot of
Oh, yeah.
people, a lot of fans do give, especially these three cricketers, a lot of flack in the sense that they've played a lot of Test matches. That's why they get the wickets, and maybe not Ishan Sharma, but definitely the other two. But I mean, for fast bowlers to have such longevity, even that itself is quite an
Yeah.
achievement. So kudos to all three of them. It's quite an elite list in that. Masoon
Yeah.
says it's going to be a spinning wicket for sure, as it is named after India's greatest spinner. I think I'm
Never
missing
mind.
out
Never
something.
mind.
I'm
Never
missing out
mind. Never
something.
mind. Yeah. Let's ignore
Okay,
this
okay.
one.
I
Yeah.
think it's political. It's half political.
Yeah.
Let's not get to
Yeah.
that side of it. England picking one spinner while India picked three is like being told the dress code is Hawaiian shirts when you arrive and it's black tie. Yes, I think. Oh my God.
I like
Yesterday, I
this.
think Kushagra did translate a lot of Hindi
You know,
muhavras uh,
Anurag,
into
it
English.
makes much
Yeah.
more sense because it was just dust all around, so it felt like a
Yeah.
beach. So
Yes.
anyway, it makes
Makes
sense.
sense. Yeah. Ishant is a
Yeah.
bowler who's become better with experience. 25 match split of his career. First to 25, 70 wickets. Next 25, 71 wickets. Yeah, I think it's been a gradual increase as you can see in the stats there. Uh, because I have to rush with a few comments because there are a lot of them. I'll just scamper through them a little quickly. Sibley caught Sharma, bowled Sharma, still doesn't beat Lee caught Lee. Yes, it doesn't.
Yes. It doesn't. Yes.
First time in the history of Test cricket at Ahmedabad. Test on 24th February 2021. Four players playing with 100 or more tests. Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
That's a very good one.
That's
That's
crazy. Yes.
Jack Leach has now dismissed Cheteshwar Pujara three times in this series. No spinner has ever dismissed Pujara four times in a home series. Yeah, I think this is a track where defensive players like Pujara, I think, a little difficult because you can't just
Yeah.
padding it out or just all the way through because you'll have to take your chances on times because there are plenty of deliveries which you can't defend as we saw today. Shubman Gill's run rate in the innings 1.3 is comfortably the lowest he's recorded in a test inning. यार कितना innings खेला यार मतलब come on let's not get there. I think he was just
Yeah.
trying to be a little cautious. He has some time to prove himself. Let's not
Yeah.
get to that side of it. Rohit Sharma averages 64 with a pull shot in Test cricket, scoring at 12.7 runs per over with that stroke. Yes, I
Yeah.
mean we've all mentioned it enough times as to how I definitely am a big fan of his pull shot.
Yeah.
14 for nil is India's lowest score after 10 overs of a test since January 2018.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter in a sense. Catch
Doesn't. Yeah.
success in Test cricket, England last 4 years, 77%. Ben Stokes in the last 4 years, 70%. Maybe I did miss out on a few hours. Did he drop a catch or something? I I, I only I only
Ollie
missed out
Pope
on
did.
Pope. Yeah, Ollie
Ollie
Pope
Pope
did. I
did.
can't.
The controversial catch.
Yeah,
Yeah. The controversial catch that
That,
went
that's
down.
not
Yeah.
really. I mean, I
That's
don't
not
know
a
if you
drop
would consider
catch.
a drop. Uh,
Yeah.
let's we'll get to that. I think we will. This that deserves a little bit of discussion. Nathan, I was expecting a duck from Root as predicted yesterday, but got from Sibley and Bairstow. Uh, Completely agree with Atul. Folks can even come at number three. Should try that in the fourth test, if not in the second innings. Uh, I don't think that's going to happen, but let's see.
Yeah.
it's the
Also,
wicket
because of
keeping
Anurag
job.
got one. Yeah, exactly. I think the wicketkeeper, that job, it adds a little more burden.
Yeah.
He could be a little more fatigued than what we think he is.
Yeah.
Shivam
It's,
adds also because of Anurag got one from Pujara as well. Arey bhai, I said I hope Pujara plays
man.
well and he got out the next ball. You're jinxing, wincing. I absolutely don't believe in this shit.
Yeah. That doesn't happen though. That doesn't
Fine,
happen.
whatever. As if,
Yeah.
see, a random ass person sitting in Hyderabad says Pujara scores well and he gets out. What is the potential signs that you're bringing in to say that I am the one who instigated the entire murder of this? I mean, nonsense. Chalo, I'll not even talk about
It's
that.
okay. It's
Interesting
okay.
development in Bengal politics. Uh, I think we'll just move
Yeah.
past that. ये भी क्या कोई stats है politics का Yeah, let's not get into the political side of it. I think there is just way too
Yeah.
many opinions on this panel, which will take this entire discussion away. Third ball dismissal for Virat Kohli in this series. Before the series, Kohli was never bowled more than once in any test.
Once in
Oh
any
my
test
God.
series. Ooh,
Ah,
that's an interesting one.
ना भाई वो stats नहीं है. चलो, thank you for the first batsman in batting order scoring as many runs as combined total of the 10 batsmen. Oh God. That that's
Wow.
uh, that's that's quite a lot,
Who?
isn't it?
Yeah,
So Empire's call can have more than one complete live session now. Yeah,
it can.
I
It
think that
can.
deserves a discussion. Uh,
Yeah.
Extra lacquer of the pink ball helped the ball skid more. That was a big difference between pink and red red ball. That's what Akshar Patel said in the post match. Yes, Rohit Sharma
Yeah.
was brilliant. Says Pawan. Yes, Pawan, he was brilliant. Tejdeep says, can we talk about the pitch and those footholds where Anderson and Broadway bowling? Anderson almost got injured. Yes, I think we will get there. We'll get there. I think we have time.
Yeah.
Uh, how much lead India should aim for? As much as they can, man. With
Yeah.
not bounce, uh, it will be extreme batsmen in the next innings. It will be tricky for Indian bowlers as well. I hope there is something that can be done overnight because it looks a little dangerous because especially
Yeah.
at the time of the foot is landing and when at the time of release, entire body weight is going on the ankle, and that cannot be good for the bowlers, especially
Bad.
the fast
Yeah.
bowlers. Let's see. Root might bowl to cover up the spin department for England, and it's Shivam as my phone's battery is okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is Shivam apparently. I was a fast bowler earlier, so arm balls come naturally to me. Yes, I think we did see a good exponent of that today. Something around
Yeah.
200 will do is that's what he's answering to the lead question. Lead of
Yeah.
200. Yes, Shivam, we got
Yeah.
that. Uh,
Should be good. Yeah.
Anything over 150 is pretty good lead. Don't really understand. Yes, Pranav, even I don't understand the context of your comment. Uh, Akshar has bowled so well. Now even with the Akshar, now even with the Akshar combo like Ashwin Jaddu combo looks scary. I'm sorry, I didn't read that very well. Uh, Raki Phatak, yeah, Shivam says Anurag just remember best of place for Sunrisers Hyderabad. I couldn't care less. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. Rohit Sharma should scream no Wi-Fi every time Archer delivers the ball. Varun, is this the tweet from you? You never know. I don't really understand. Okay, Kuldeep's exclusion when you already have two AR. I'm sorry, I'm a little bad with
Yeah.
abbreviations. Can anyone help me with ARs?
Yeah. All rounders. All rounders.
All right.
All-rounders.
Ashwin and
Oh
Akshar Patel.
God.
Ah, of course.
Oh God.
I
Bro,
He's got
have
Varun,
this.
you have
never
200
in my
characters in
life
the poem.
heard that abbreviation, like seen it being used anywhere.
I thrice
I,
thought, what's the
That's a
point of
dedication.
artificial reality here? I thrice thought
I was
that.
thinking augmented reality. Then I didn't
Oh,
realize.
well,
Okay,
well.
maybe it's all rounders. Yeah.
I personally am not that well educated, so your topics are way beyond for
Come
me.
on. Come
Uh,
on.
yeah. So no, Masoom says Varun Akshar is control plus C control V of Ravindra Jadeja in terms of bowling and fielding. Hope we can talk about that from his batting as well. I think Jadeja is a far better turner of the ball than
Yeah.
what people give him credit for. I actually would disagree, especially with as far as bowling is concerned. Maybe fielding, even that I would disagree. Jadeja is class apart, man. Come on, there
Yeah.
is no one like Jadeja. Pujara has always struggled to go big after a series in Australia. Yes, we've seen that he's an away track bully, as we love to call it. Kuljot says third umpire surely has Baz ki nazar.
Pass ki nazar.
Yeah,
Yes.
that I think that's what Sitama was sort of implying. Paul
Yeah.
Heyman says Atul,
For
mate, you belong
Nathan,
to
for
your
Nathan,
heart.
you should just translate it for Nathan. Nathan, it means the
Yeah.
third umpire has that eagle sigh. Just he needs that
Hawkeye.
one
Hawkeye.
He just
review
needs,
and he just
yeah,
give
he has a
not out.
Hawkeye. He just needs 2 seconds to see even the closest of calls. Mate, you belong to Europe. Paul Heyman says, don't wear jerseys on. Yeah, I mean, I know you're a fake account, but at least don't make it so obvious. Masoom, it's the non-spinning deliveries that England haven't been able to play. Scars from the second test, me thinks. England just don't have enough skilled players in this condition. Michael won. Okay,
Yeah.
Sritama, I mean, there were plenty of things to talk about, especially, there were so many wickets, as Nathan was telling. The ball just came straight. I mean, you people can say as much as they want about the dustiness and everything, but it's like
Yeah.
they went for the spin every time and the ball just didn't spin. It was
Yeah.
like that, and almost five to
Yeah.
six wickets fell like that. So, is would you say this was more of lack of application from the English today?
of course, that way England have played poorly. They batted very poorly. There
Yeah,
was there was pressure playing. Obviously, pressure had a role to play. So in their heads, when they saw the playing 11, India's playing 11, they thought it's going to spin. So that was the entire thought process there, and like I think India just caught them off guard. I mean, I saw the best use of home advantage today when the toss actually, when the teams like playing 11s were announced, and England looked totally off guard, even though it was their chance to get a grip on this test right away.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like 3 days back we've been getting those pictures of the pitch where there's total grass on it. It seemed like a Wimbledon wicket or something like that. And
yeah.
3 days later, boom! It's like all some sort of mazak. I mean, that really I didn't expect it to be this different.
Anurag, there's a
Yeah,
better way to put it. It went from
yeah,
Wimbledon to French Open in no time.
yeah. Indeed. Good one. Yeah, indeed. That's
Nice,
true.
nice.
Again,
I
Atul,
like that.
I can't match up to you in that regard. Obviously, you have to come up with such great thing. Nathan, I will come to you straight on this first. See, had it been a Virat Kohli or a Ricky Ponting, people still go after Ricky Ponting for what kind of behavior he had in certain in the day. But I think Joe Root, the way he went after the Empire, it was a little appalling, wasn't it? I mean, I personally didn't like it. Especially for the Stokes dismissal, the one which very clearly, at least from the visuals we had, I think it was very clear that the ball had grounded, and
Yeah,
none of them had the. I understand none of the players had any access to watching, especially those replays. But when you are not 100% sure, I mean, why go after the Empire so much? I mean, Joe Root just went after Anish Chaudhary just because Ben Stokes was very confident he took the catch. And throughout the day, Ben Stokes had this sarcastic smile on his face, which was so off-putting. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, and those as well. What do you have to say on that? Is it just total frustration that the day didn't go their way, or I don't know.
Well,
Matlab,
I
we
personally,
don't really see the English team behaving like this. I mean, it's sort of new for me, at least.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's not something that we usually do. For me,
Yeah.
it hit the ground. There's no ifs or buts. It's not even a close one. It's touched the ground. So I'm not really
Yeah, the
sure why
umpire
they
took
thought.
just 2 minutes and he immediately gave it not out. It's just like two.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just took two replays for that.
and I think it was
That
just
doesn't
far
really
too.
prove anything given today's example, but yeah.
yeah.
I'm just talking about this particular
Yeah.
incident. We'll come to that
In
as well.
case in
Yeah.
case there is any controversy, people can go ask Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. He's ready to answer everyone apparently.
Well,
No,
yeah, Nathan,
he's
please
right.
continue.
It clearly bounced. Well, I say it bounced. It clearly touched the ground, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
we shouldn't act like that. It could. I don't mind him speaking to the umpire, but it looked quite aggressive to tone, and I don't think
yeah,
it was called for. And I think the only thing is, I would have thought he'd get some demerit points, but I thought Kohli might have got that on the second test. When he was
yeah.
not happy with Joe Root. So yeah, it was poor, but I don't think anything of it really. And I think Stokes. I don't blame Stokes for claiming the catch. I don't
Yeah.
yeah,
think he would have
Fair.
known it's touched the ground. But I
Yeah,
think it was Dom Sibley next to him. He was watching it as it hit the ground. So I was a bit disappointed in Sibley for not saying, actually, mate, that's touched the ground. I don't know if it's because it's Stokes that he was like, nope, I'm not saying that. But it wasn't
Maybe
good.
see,
It wasn't good
the
from us.
reaction time, the
yeah.
reaction time is very.
Very less,
It's
very less.
like microseconds. How does a player get to understand? I'm saying like
Yeah,
micro is a bit exaggerated, but still it's like 0.0 something. So that reaction time, we cannot say that the other player gets to see that the deflection. So
yeah,
basically, when the ball was coming straight to Stokes, it was almost in his grip, but
yeah,
suddenly deflected. So maybe he did not understand it. Maybe. And about that smug smile,
Sibley, Shritama,
about that
Shritama.
smug smile. No, see, even for Sibley, his reaction time. Of course, the reaction what doesn't apply to Sibley, but it's
It wasn't Sibley's problem, Shritama, to be honest. It was
yeah.
basically,
It
see,
wasn't.
Joe Root could have had that kind of an expression. Okay, I don't know if I took the catch or not. See, because it was a close one. But then again, he started with that and he started clapping. That was the problem I think there was. Because,
Yeah,
okay, you need to
exactly.
understand ki, okay, he took 1 or 2 minutes taking a look at it and he just saw that the ball was dragged on the
Yeah,
ground and then it was picked up. So at
Yeah.
that point, Stokes should have reacted a bit better. That's the only thing. I think Sibley couldn't have seen
Yeah.
that in that
No
very
way.
moment.
Yeah, Sibley
Like
is a
when you
distraction.
just
Yeah,
go there,
but
Stokes
again
already took the catch.
but about Stokes's smug smile. Okay, so for the people who haven't seen the entire ceremony go down today, Stokes was having the same expression on
Yeah,
since like minute one, like since the word
Yeah.
go. Before since
Yeah.
I looked at his face since
Yeah.
before the national anthem, in fact. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was Stokes's.
No,
I don't know. That was
I don't think
Stokes's expression
I
today.
don't think that still
see,
justifies the fact that you clap at the
no, 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 no,
umpire.
no, no. Okay,
It
justification and
doesn't.
everything is different. But he see, I think, especially from the moment that catch was given not out,
Yeah.
that I mean, maybe
It's
who are we to
done.
judge? I mean, we can never
Yeah.
say what he was going through. I mean, what he
Yeah.
was thinking at that moment. Obviously, we are no one to say. But from that moment, I don't think that smile meant sarcasm all the way through. I may be wrong. Even you may be wrong. We
Yeah.
don't know about that. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go past that discussion now. I think enough of coverage for that for now. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know whom to come to. Let's say Atul. Okay, Atul. Batting की बात करें. I mean, talking about batting today. Uh,
Not
we
going
we
to
can
talk
compare
about
it.
India's batting, to be honest. If you want me to talk about Zach Crawley's, I can do that because it was something very beautiful. And
Okay.
Shubman Gill, because I'm a bit disappointed in Shubman Gill. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah,
talking
and
about the
exactly
fact
that's my question for you. Talk now.
Okay, so basically, apologies to Shubman for the rant which is going to come post this. But yeah, so we've been talking
Okay.
about Prithvi Shaw that he doesn't show the temperament that's needed to play in there. We know Shubman has that kind of a temperament. He can play in there, but he does need to understand that he has to play sort of thoda sa alag, a bit different in the conditions that are offered to him today. But he just went after that ball, that pull shot, which wasn't required at that point of time. India were playing okay. It's a test match. Sunil Gavaskar was saying that he has that ability to just play the balls and have that longer innings. And at that very moment, he threw it away. So
Yeah.
again, that's going to be a big problem if you can't convert those smaller scores into the bigger ones. And uh,
Yeah.
see, if you can't convert a 50 into 100, it's understandable. But if you will be going for those kind of lower scores, the media and the people are going to come after you. And within one or two matches, if this continues, it will be again a chant saying maybe Prithvi Shaw deserves a chance back, maybe Mayank Agarwal needs to step in. And seeing his potential, I don't want that to happen. So
Yeah.
again, I really hope Shubman Gill improves. And because again, as you mentioned in the last live, that it was Jofra Archer's ability that got the wicket, but you need to
Yeah.
understand that that shot wasn't needed at that point of time, and Shubman played that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think what's gone
I
is
think
gone now.
it's like Shubman Gill. He likes playing a little
Yeah.
aggressively, and the fact that
Yeah,
he's played
exactly.
50
Usually he
deliveries.
gets those
Yeah,
quick, smooth starts. Today
yeah,
there was a
Yeah.
bit of a rivalry between like forming between Broad and Gill. There
yeah.
Yeah.
was this
It was.
dance
It was.
between these two,
It was.
and that sort of pumped him up, Shubman Gill, and it, like he just.
Yeah.
Of course, there was Jofra Archers. I mean, the credit goes
Yeah.
to
Which is
him.
which is fair on Broad's part, Sritama, if you think of it. That's what you do,
Set it up.
intimidate your opponents. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty good on Broad's part. And I think
Yeah.
that one
I
decision
really
that went
enjoyed what
against
they
Broad.
were having, but Broad also
Yeah,
bowled up like some very pretty loose deliveries to him. That I thought was
Yeah.
pretty immature for a player who has been around for so many years. So that
Yeah.
I felt a little bit immature from Broad, but he had him, like almost had Gill, and he was just
Yeah.
unlucky.
That umpire's call again, the umpire's call we're talking about. He was
Umpire's
given
fault.
not
Yeah.
out
Of course, that is there,
because
and
because I was watching the
with
match and I
Stokes,
raised my finger.
so basically, exactly. And Broad was pretty unhappy, but I've seen like Broad has changed over the years. He doesn't go and like ask the umpire anything. He's become very laid back nowadays.
Yeah.
Previously, so basically it depends on your like uh, thought process at that very moment, the state of mind. So anything that these players do, I think it's all about what they are going through at that moment. I have
Yeah.
seen Broad change gradually, but that
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened if I think that's more of his personal life. I think he's more sorted there. So it depends. I've seen Broad mature a lot, but then he bowled like few immature deliveries today. So I wasn't happy because he was like dominating Gill in that fight. So
Yeah.
But
he had it.
I think that broad celebration he does without even looking at the umpire. Post he
Yeah.
bowled
Yeah,
that ball, and even I thought it's out. But
Yeah.
then again, he
no,
gave that not out, and it came down to umpire's call. And again, we can't have a debate about umpire's call for the next 1 hour because people have to
Yeah.
sleep. So I think that's for
yeah.
another day. But
Yeah.
apart from
So
Shubman
basically, we
Cheteshwar,
can say, like, rule umpires call out. It's just been poor umpiring, and it sort of seems that it's been a little. I don't know. Dare I call it bias? But it happens, I guess. I don't know, but it doesn't seem right to me.
well, the certain
I
Hawkeye showed it clipped a bit. So
exactly what I
yeah,
felt in
we can't.
Australia. Exactly what I felt in Australia as well. See, this is
Yeah.
what
Very
this is
much.
what this empire call
Anurag,
is just
Anurag,
bringing so
Anurag,
many unnecessary topics to the fray. Yeah,
Anurag. I'm telling you something.
No,
If
basically, no. They say that there's so the umpires call is still there because they want to respect.
Yeah.
For years, umpires got their way, like taking decisions and everything. Nobody got in their way. They did their way. Like they took decisions
yeah.
whenever they wanted.
Yeah.
So right now
Steve
they're
Buckner
keeping
says hi.
umpires call to just keep that respect, like still to respect the umpires and everything. But the umpires also have to respect the rule. You
Yeah,
cannot misuse a rule. That's what.
everyone has to respect the fact that the game should go on smoothly, and
Anurag,
if there is a
it's
chance we could correct a small minor error, we should that chance should be given, and it shouldn't be on anyone's ego. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
Exactly.
think
eventually,
the players are friends. The 22 players who are playing, like not considering if there's any like going, like I don't know. I Some players might
exactly,
have
I
some
get it.
personal feuds and everything, but
Yeah,
usually what we see, these 22 people are friends amongst each other.
yeah,
Anything
Yeah.
like the Joe Root and Moeen Ali incident, Moeen Ali came out and said today that it was blown out of proportion. There was
Yeah.
yeah,
nothing like between me and Root. So I don't think if a fair decision is taken, a particular player is going to be angry at another player. That is not
yeah.
going to happen. They are not going to
Yeah.
get angry that a decision like that was taken if it's right. So it makes
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
sense.
I just mean in the sense that if empires, I mean, I what you said was empires, they still get it's the 50% thing still exists because there needs to be a little bit of respect given to the empires, or some people
Yeah.
feel so, or
But
some
I
people
think
feel
that
so.
umpires have been
Yeah,
taking
this for granted in a sense.
yeah, fair advantage of it, unfair
Yeah,
advantage.
exactly.
It's
I mean it in a sense that empires eventually, if
Anurag,
even if
Anurag,
10 calls they take, even if they take 10 calls and all of them are ruled out because they were wrong, I don't think
Anurag.
anyone has the right to really
That's the reason.
complain
That is
about
the
it.
reason.
Yeah,
At the MCC's meeting, not just the umpires' call were discussed, but the thing that the home umpires are umpiring in the home team's matches was also discussed. So I think
Yeah.
that rule might change as
but
well
that came
because we saw
only
that in
because of the
Australia.
That
restrictions,
came
right?
that came fairly due to COVID as well. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not an
Anurag, tell
excuse.
me
COVID
something.
is not an
that won't
excuse.
be there for long.
Anurag, tell me
Hopefully,
It
something.
won't be there.
yeah,
If a contingent of 30 players can come and stay in a bubble for that
That's the
many days,
thing. That's the thing we have been
yeah,
asking Atul, right? Okay. I mean, yes, we can talk about umpire's call all day. We can talk about everything else all day.
we can
Everything else
talk
is
about
valid.
fast bowling all day. Contact me for that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, we can talk about whatever happened negative on the cricket pitch today for the entire day, for the entire season. We could also focus on the fact that there was a batsman named Zach Crawley who scored a brilliant innings today, got out to a really good ball. We could see a guy named Rohit Sharma who was being questioned for his place every goddamn time he failed, and he's stepping up to the plate on spinning wickets on ball that on wickets where the ball is doing a bit, where Anderson was swinging the ball early on, where Leach was spinning the ball, where it was told that he's not able to play Leach, he's playing Leach really well. He was hitting
Yeah,
Leach at in the way he wanted to play Leach. He learned his technique. He adjusted his technique really well. And again, we talked about the umpires call thing. Everything that hasn't gone in favor of England didn't go in favor of India in Australia. I think home umpiring, yes, maybe there is a little bit of head here, which probably the umpires are not able to sort out,
That might be in thing.
which is fair enough.
That might be in kind of a thing creeps in that people might
Atul,
just
Atul, Atul,
comment.
uh,
I would say, yes, I can agree. See,
one
Nitin
more
Menon is
minute,
an
guys. I
ICC.
think
Yeah,
yeah, one more
yeah,
minute for both of you to complete this point. I think it's sort of
yeah,
digress.
yeah, yeah,
I just want to give
yeah.
you time to say whatever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
Good job,
ICC,
Ramsey.
Nathan Mann is an ICC elite panel umpire. We know he's a very good umpire. I am not going to comment on the other umpires because I think they are also trying their best. That doesn't give anyone an excuse to go and scream at the umpire. I remember at the end of Ben Stokes' over, where the ball slipped out of his hand, he went up to the, like, he might not have gone to the stumps, but he yelled in a unfair way. I texted that to Anurag at that point of time that he didn't yell something that was right. Joe Roots and his entire rant to Nathan Menon, when Nathan Menon had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was standing at the bowler's end. There is a square leg umpire who has given it to the third umpire. There is a third umpire who's checking it. However, badly maybe he was checking. I can agree with Shritama. Maybe we did not get what we deserved, or the English team did not get the referral what they deserved. It still looked, I think Nathan also agreed at the start of the show, it still kind of looked behind. But yes, I can agree it is not entirely fair the way it was judged. But it doesn't give any captain in the world any right to go and yell at an umpire in the way it was. It wasn't fair when Virat did it. It wasn't fair when Joe Root did it. It is something that umpires, we need to respect the fact that they are taking their decisions. However, you are always bound to fail as a batsman, as a bowler, as a fielder. You drop catches, you bowl poor lines and lengths and you get hammered, and you miss straight balls and you get out. The same way the umpires make mistakes as well. Why not take that into consideration and stop yelling at them? That's my point. I don't agree. Whatever happens on the pitch, I don't agree you yell at the umpire. That's totally not into the zone of cricket. But Rohit,
What you're doing is moral policing right now, which has
it's not
no
moral
place.
policing. It is no moral policing. I just feel
It
it is
is.
completely
Yes,
unfair to go yell at
But
an umpire who has
Shritama,
nothing to
This is
do.
talking to the
as a
umpire.
moderator, I would love,
We are
yeah, I
supposed to
would
talk
love for
like
this
that.
topic to
When
end.
they
Yeah,
do something like this, they're
see,
trying to
just
something like
just
this
just
to show
because
impression.
just
That
because in
is
cricket there's not a thing called a yellow card and a red card, there's a certain advantage there, isn't it? And the
Yeah,
umpires are like kind enough to not report it upstairs to
yeah,
the match referee or something, because it hasn't happened for the
let's
first
report
time.
it to the match referee, just not
yeah.
real
See,
time.
yeah,
The match
exactly.
referee looks
Let's
at
just,
everything. If the match referee thinks
yeah,
that he did something wrong, then might as well like reprimand him. I'm not
yeah.
stopping that.
If
See,
that was the case, if that
my
was the case,
final comment,
it would have happened post the
Atul,
second test, I think.
Atul, I'm being an Arnab Goswami here. I don't want to do that. I don't want to raise my pitch. Just a final comment. See, uh, everyone can make mistakes. That is true. And in the past, especially in recent times, empires have been pretty bad. Umpiring has been pretty
yeah,
bad. And
And
There's no
especially at
excuse
that
for
point in
it.
time, we
I'm
understand.
telling you,
At that
umpires
point, it is
umpires
understandable
are
that
so
just
intelligent, they
might
are
have been.
so brilliant that they can tell
Yeah,
that what can result into an umpire's call. They
yeah,
have that much
exactly.
Anurag, one thing, just not saying this because I am India's fan or something. I also despise the fact that Virat Kohli just straight away called out Nitin Menon in the last test, saying
Yeah,
Menon,
he
yeah.
ye
did,
dekh kya ho raha hai.
obviously.
Yes,
I
that's
despise
not
that
fair.
as well, because that's not
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
acceptable, to be honest,
that's
from
not
the
fair.
Indian captain as well. So I think these things need to change, and you need to show that kind of a decorum to the umpire
Yeah,
officiating there. So, yeah.
agreed. Yes,
Okay. Okay. We'll just take a few comments before we head to the final comments
Just
of
to
the
add
day.
to that,
That
though,
is
for 10
this is the
seconds.
most heated debate ever got on TSD because everyone is
yeah,
always very nice to
yeah.
people.
And
Everyone
Nathan
is very.
unfortunately hasn't got to speak his one
He is
word as
just
well.
he's lovely just watching it, enjoying it.
Yeah,
Then if you have anything to say,
I'm going to be the referee, splitting you two up. But no, the one thing, joke's sad though, the one thing I wanted to add is it's gone up to the third umpire. It's had cameras. It's not like it's a
yeah,
decision, so you shouldn't really need to be shouting at the umpire after it's gone up to the third umpire.
yeah, yeah. I think that makes sense now. I totally lost
Yeah,
track of where we left these comments because there are plenty of them.
yeah,
It's not. I think here we are. It's not.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the
That's where we
non-spinning
are.
deliveries that England have been not able to play. Scars from the actually we've done this actually. Third umpire should host news debate as is not interested in more than that is
Oh my god,
superb. That is superb.
Superb.
man.
Seriously, that's an
Absolutely
Yeah,
amazing
brilliant. Yeah. Uh,
metaphor.
yeah. Kuljot says I think Virat would have Hanuma Vihari for Sundar if he was fit. I think that comment will make Atul happy. Please send one with a GoPro to help find us. Okay, we will do
Please
that.
send one to play at number 4.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
That would
think
be
that will be a
better.
bigger help.
That would be
Yeah,
better.
that will be a
Yes.
bigger help.
Yeah.
Has anyone noticed Anish Chaudhary giving not outs? I mean, he's not even looking at the players; just looks away. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some sort of nonchalance. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
nonchalance is a nice word to say, but again,
Yeah.
okay, we've had enough of the
Yeah.
empire today. Chalo. Makes sense
Yeah.
to play extra reliable batsmen in Sundar than Kuldeep, as Ashwin, Akshar are enough to trouble England with their quality spin bowling. But
Yeah.
again, okay, we'll get there. Anil Chaudhary gave some serious exposure to English players. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Wickets taken by the spinners on the opening day. Ahmedabad test 11, other day night tests 15. I mean, other 15 day night tests combined 12. Welcome
Wow.
to India.
Only one.
Welcome to Yeah, welcome to India. If India wanted to play an extra batsman, then why not go for Hardik Pandya? He can bowl 4 or 5 overs in a day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think people have. I think there's still not enough, transparency as far as Hardik Pandya's current state is concerned. I mean, some people say
Yeah,
something, then there
exactly.
is a
Whether
post
he
from
can
Mumbai
bowl those
Indians account
overs
or some
is not
account.
Yeah.
something that
They
we can
say he's fit.
surely.
Yeah,
I think Anurag, the only plus point for Washington is the way he played Leach in the first test. Probably that is
yeah,
the reason why they went for him, because the only spinner you can negotiate him well, and he's
yeah,
good with the paces as well.
yeah. The ball touched the ground. Period. No arguments. If anyone has an argument, come and see me later. That's what Sunil Gavaskar said. I think, yeah, at that point in time, it was made a lot. It didn't really deserve a lot of discussion in the commentary panel. Amit
Yeah.
Dubey says the English team looked terribly demoralized. Yeah, that is the case a little bit. It's as if they've resigned their fate here and are waiting for the inevitable. Yes, if towards the end of the day, if you've
Yeah.
seen, there was a ball hit towards mid wicket by Kohli, I think. And, I
Yeah.
think Jack Leach was going after it. I don't know, like last moment, he just gave up. That sort of looked like a player who was totally demoralized. I don't know. I mean, it's just day one, man. Come on,
Yeah.
in place of Washington. Okay. Uh, England, this first series, first innings, 578. The 4 innings since, 588 for the loss of 40 wickets.
40. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not been a great outing for the English. Pope would have taken a big sigh of relief after Virat's wicket. Yes, I
Yes.
totally.
Yes.
I think collapse has something to do with English media putting too much attention on the pitches. It puts idea in batsmen's mind and they start playing differently and not trust their skill. Again, today I think umpiring and umpire's call that has been the dominating point in our discussion. But again, yeah, as far
Yeah.
as the pitches, I think even I've seen so many English fans say this today. I think today there was very little to talk about the pitch. I think it
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as some people might think. Some people who are just following the scorecard might think. Uh, it wasn't really. I mean, people got out of straight balls.
Yeah.
I mean, what can the pitch do for that?
Yeah.
Ashwin
I thought
went
it was
past.
probably your best pitch this series.
Okay,
Apart from the
okay.
2 days in the,
Yeah.
because we batted first in the first test, but
Yeah,
I thought this was a much better pitch, and there is zero. I don't even think there's an ounce of excuses we can
yeah,
make about the pitch. It's going to turn. It's India. It's
yeah.
like saying
Exactly.
to England, it's going to swing. There were a lot. There wasn't a lot of spin today, though. That was what was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amit says R. Ashwin went past Zahir Khan's tally of 597 wickets for India to become the fourth highest wicket taker for the team in international cricket with 599 caps. I mean, I think Ravichandran Ashwin is fourth to, let's say, Harbhajan Singh. Is he? Anil Kumble for sure. I am not very sure who the other name is. Kapil Dev
Yeah. Kapil Dev is there in that
potentially
list
has
as
to
well.
be. I don't know how many
Yeah.
ODI wickets he has. So yeah, maybe. Uh, uh, Amit Dubey drama mila या फिर it's going down as I wanted yesterday, easy victory. Uh,
Yeah.
well,
We had a lot of drama today, didn't we? Like in the panel itself.
honestly, in a sense, I don't mind a few one-sided games as an Indian fan from a complete fan
Totally.
perspective because oh my god, Australia was too painful to watch, man.
Too painful.
Uh,
Yes.
Best figures by a spinner in day-night test: 8 for 49 issue versus Pakistan. That was a test. I think where Darren Brown took the game very down late. I think that's what I can remember. 6 for 38 today by Axar Patel and 184 by Yasir Shah.
Yasir Shah.
Oh,
Yes.
Troll is back. I don't know. Mr. Troll. I don't know how to address you, but yeah, Ben Stokes. This is a clear catch. Gill is out. Kohli, Ben Stokes.
This is nice. Yes.
They're absolutely disgraceful from Stokes. I get the fact that you're frustrated, but you don't take having Indian umpires for granted. No way we would have done that to anyone else in England or Australia. Okay, okay. Now that goes into an entirely different side of the talking point, but
Yeah.
I get your
Yeah.
frustration. Raki. Patak couldn't be more one-sided. Yes, it was a fairly one-sided day. Five first in each of his first two tests for India. Mohammad Nisar was like the 19th. He was in the first ever Indian team which played in
Yeah,
1932. Narendra Hirwani obviously took 16 wickets, and Akshar Patel. My goodness, imagine
yeah,
a lucky escape in the end for Kerala after a stunning ninth wicket stand of 59. Yes, yeah, I
yeah.
was following that game a little bit, but then lost track of it.
The Mohammad
They
Nisar article was written by like that stat was put up by me. But anyway.
They moved to the top in the Group C with matches against Karnataka and Bihar. There's a match against Karnataka left, so that should be
Yeah.
interesting.
Also, Jaydev
Complaining
Unadkar made
Virat's
a
actions
similar
last match and
innings
asking for ban
yesterday.
will remain silent for Roots behave. See, I think fans will have their bias, but again,
Yeah.
eventually one has to accept both
Nobody
were
had
wrong in what
asked
they
for
did.
a
This was
ban. I
no one, yeah,
didn't
no one is
see.
asking for a ban. I don't think anyone is
No one
asking for a
asked.
ban on
Nobody
either
asked
side.
for a Virat ban. Sorry, I don't know what kind of people you're following. Maybe they asked to ban people who use, I don't know,
Yeah.
plastic bags.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
such a
The
loose
only
usage
talk.
of the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
मतलब
Yeah.
Virat said,
Yeah.
I don't agree with you and हाँ चलो ban कर दो मतलब कुछ भी
Uh, there were talks about a
uh,
fine, but not a ban. There were never talks
it's
about a
fine.
ban.
See, I know cricket is more of the gentleman's game, that the word that's overly used.
Arey
I
bhai,
understand there's a certain
again,
decorum. I don't
gentlemen
agree.
means aristocrats, not gentle. Oh my God, it
I
was
get your
called
point. I'm
gentleman's
totally with you
game
in this regard. Yeah,
because in Nathan's country there was classism and cricket wasn't for everyone.
exactly. Yeah, I don't follow that. Yes,
Everyone is playing the game. It cannot be gentleman's game anymore. It doesn't
exactly.
mean that you're a gentleman. It doesn't say anything about your behavior. That's a myth. I don't know who created it. I'm sorry, matlab, I have no idea.
I get it. I get it. I've
On
actually
that, you
written an
used to
article on this
bash
a couple
that
of years ago.
person.
I just want to put it out there. But yeah, we'll move past that. England is the first team to feature in a pink ball test with all three balls. Dukes in West Indies, Kookaburra versus Australia versus New Zealand, and SG in India. Okay, let's give
Yeah,
it to
that's
them.
a nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is Gill's lack of getting to the big score changing his approach? I get the fact that a steady start was important, but he should have let it loose with Rohit picked the wrong ball in the end. Yes, I mean, it's just three or
Yeah, we
four tests
discussed that.
career.
Yeah.
He has time. Yeah, there is
He
time
has a
for
lot
him
of time.
to. I think he has enough people around him for him to figure out. There are some fantastic batsmen that he's in the company of some fantastic batsmen. So I think he'll
Yeah.
figure that out. What is England thinking about Ben Stokes in bowling attack confounding? Is he a frontline bowler, shock bowler in short spells, or just a is he okay, or just
He's a
a change
change
bowler?
bowler.
I'll bring that to Nathan after this. A run out giver, a
A
run
run
giver.
giver.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Uh, Amit खेलने थोड़ा bowler. Okay, fine. Previous benefit of doubt went to batsman. Now it goes to umpire. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just rude.
Yeah, I like that.
Windies had a neutral umpire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In the Bangladesh West
Yeah.
Indies test,
That's
there was a
because
neutral umpire.
there was no elite umpires in the Bangladesh setup, so they had to get neutral umpires, and that was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
And
The
what
catch
was
Stokes
the
took.
outcome?
West
Anyway.
Indies winning it. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, India can win.
This is a rhetorical question. I know what happened in that series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Tempest flaring now. The catch Stokes took hit the ground harder than the bloke he hit outside the
It's such a bad analogy. I
Okay,
have
that's
never seen a worse
come
one.
on, man. Come on. That's
Yeah.
way too harsh.
No,
Chill,
it's
yeah, but I have
I
seen
stand on
Ben
that
hard
Stokes
for
to
bowl
me.
with
do
more
that,
intent.
right? When you say there's a broad daylight, you have to actually has to be there. So when it wasn't even the case because the touch wasn't even anyway, it's not funny.
So, yeah, ball hit the ground, period. That's what Gavaskar said. That's what I just repeat. True, we have all witnessed that sometimes against India. I'm not very sure what it's referring to. Second T20
Yeah.
between Australia and New Zealand starts at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. I know, man. Oh, God, it's so
Yeah.
difficult to
Six
follow these all.
thirty.
Not
My God.
11:30. Live on Fan Code and New Zealand YouTube channel through
Okay.
VPN. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Now, what happened to Jofra's pace? Is he going to bowl like this? Then England is better off playing Ollie Stone. Uh, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it has to do a
Yeah.
little bit. Well, let's see if he picks it up or not tomorrow. Also, didn't Bumrah to start at a lower pace? I think the first few balls were 130, worrying.
No.
I mean, he was
I
bowling well.
felt that both Archer and Bumrah were looking to find any swing if it is there. which is why they bowled it slightly slower in a hope कि थोड़ा ball swing हो जाए. Maybe that was the
Maybe
only
they're
hope.
just concentrating a bit more on moment.
Yeah,
That happens sometimes. See,
that happens.
sometimes
That's okay.
your the rotation of the arm, sometimes on days it just you feel some sort of minor blockage or something like that. Your arm is not rotating 100% naturally.
Yeah,
Sometimes it can happen. I don't think there's much to think about it. It has happened to Jofra Archer in the past as well. So I hope he can bounce. I think he will bounce back.
good
Anurag Vich
one.
can do a lot in that. A few balls had turned before that. The reason England players were playing for a spin and were out on straighter deliveries. Okay.
Totally. Yeah,
But again, I think my point was slightly different. But okay, so Mr. David Bumble asked for a ban. Okay,
that's
I
okay.
think this
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
that's fine. Soft signal should be
Cares about
renamed based on fielding team reaction signal. uh, let's not. Gentleman's game is
I just
English narrative. That's why
point
swing is
now.
a skill and spin is mystery. Thing to ponder on. Okay, man. Uh, so many different analogies. So many
Yeah,
different analogies.
so
I
many.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sick of the
Yeah, that's
analogies
going
that
to
are coming
start
out now.
sometime around the summer, not right now. The Amazon
Yeah,
Prime thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard first Amazon acquired New Zealand. Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
They have.
It happened a few months back. Yeah. Root
Yeah,
is
but
still better than
the
Suarez.
the contracts hasn't started
Come
yet.
on. Come on, Sid. Come
I,
on.
I I don't think anyone is as bad as Suarez as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly want
Why
to see
are
Rishabh
they
Pant go
painting
after.
Root as someone who is like worse than their own captain? I don't understand. And
Some fans.
I really don't agree with Kane Williamson's like demeanor on the field. I
Yeah.
don't relate to it, even though he's my captain, and there is literally nothing to say about it. But as a fan of the team, you would feel sometimes that some things are unfair on the team, and you are not saying anything. So if
Yeah.
Root does something like that, if he's talking to the umpire, if he's saying something, we don't know exactly. If the umpire comes up and says that he abused me, then go ahead, reprimand him. You can talk to the umpire, because this is what Indian players do. This is what I've seen since I haven't seen everyone getting a suspension or something, or a whatever, a punishment of any kind. So I think he was just speaking to the umpire. Whatever Stokes did was nothing like. Root and Stokes are not the same person. So why is like Stokes' behavior being blamed on Root? I don't understand it. I felt
Fair
it's
enough.
pretty like,
Yeah.
you can speak to the
We'll
umpire. You can
we'll
say
start
that
with
something
Nathan.
unfair has
Yeah.
happened. Who else? How can he go to the TV umpire and speak to him? He's going to talk to the umpire who is in his proximity. That's all I
Yeah.
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. I
like
mean,
you're trying to paint a picture like I don't know, to prove that someone else is better than Root on the field, and that is not the best way to go on.
fans have their agendas, don't they? Like
Because the
it's this
players don't have
never-ending
any
story.
agenda against each other. So
Exactly. So eventually, that is what matters. So we'll come to the final comments. Nathan, I think, did he fall asleep or something? No, yeah, he's fine.
No, he's
I'm
here.
Uh,
here.
so,
He's
Na-
here. He's here.
so Nathan, what are your expectations for tomorrow? I mean, if you could just preview what potentially could happen tomorrow.
Well, I was hoping to get 300 yesterday, so I might lower my expectations a little bit. I think
I get
we'll
it.
start. I
Yeah.
think we'll open up with Jimmy and Leach tomorrow, and we're just going to have to go for the wickets. Go aggressive. There's no point defence because obviously there's a bit too long of the test match, and I don't think we're going to get the weather saving us. So I'm hoping we get most of the wickets before lunch, and if we concede less than 100, I'll be very, very happy. Is the league currently is our league 12 at the moment, or something like that? But if we can get them all out for
Yeah.
less than just over 200, I think we're still in the game. We're tough, but still in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Delhi.
agreed. I think if it's around, I think if England can manage to keep it under, let's say 125 or something, I think that should still be a fun game. Sritama now, I think the only neutral fan on the panel today. So how do you see things pan out tomorrow?
I see it as India's day. There's no way that England are. So they started off with a lot of pressure on them. We saw the early wickets fall, and pressure is clearly on England. Pressure of the match, pressure of
Yeah.
the crowd there, pressure of everything that's going on today. Like what went on before the match, everything. They are feeling like proper. Like after a long time, they're feeling that okay, we are playing somewhere else, This is not our ground, even though there were crowds allowed in Chennai. This is like something else. They were
Yeah.
totally, and even what happened at the toss, I told you that they were totally shaken. And now it's already so, because England only posted 112. So when Rohit came to bat, he already had that confidence. So he played even better than he could have actually. So the entire, like, the what to say, I am forgetting the word, but this exactly plays a negative impact on England, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally see them under pressure already, and they have this like at the back of their minds that this may not go to day 5. So this is definitely playing at the back of their head, and yeah, I see it as India's day, and I see a lead of quite a lot, like 200 maybe, 200,
I'd be
more than
worried if it goes to
200.
day 5.
What if it
I'd be
goes to day 5?
surprised.
Then
I'd be
if
Yeah.
it
so
goes to day
surprised.
5, that means England have played well on day 3 and day 4.
Yeah.
That's it
And day 2.
means.
It requires a monumental effort from England, especially
Yeah,
for that
Yeah.
yeah.
to happen.
As there has to be a big, a big knock there, because I don't see a consolidated performance from the entire batting lineup there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I England have been lucky that they got back Zach Crawley right on time,
Yeah.
because he's the only one who looked pretty good there. So
Yeah.
they're lucky in that.
Before I come to Atul and Prathamesh, just a final few more comments. Nothing against Root Sritama. Only wanted to mention Suarez after last night. Absolutely didn't do much. Let's just say if
Not
Sritama
just
doesn't follow
you, not
football,
just you. I've been facing a lot
yeah,
of
she doesn't.
backlash right
Yeah,
now just because
Yeah.
I made a Rohit
she,
comment. I got
I
a
Yeah.
mean, see, नहीं, no backlash की कोई बात नहीं है. I
no,
mean, people,
not here, not
this just
here.
made a
You should
black.
check my
Yeah,
Facebook, Anurag.
yeah,
It's
I
locked
get
and
it.
full.
I get
It's
it.
locked
I
and full.
understand that. I
So
understand that. So the root issue is being blown out of proportion. I think it is. Let's hope it doesn't. Uh, Tomorrow and in the days to come, I think a lead over
Yeah.
200 would probably be enough for us. Yes, I think I am not really expecting much more than that as well. I think as
Yeah.
Nathan was saying, I don't think it's going to go till day 5. Not just England. I don't think India have it in them to take it till day
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
True.
So
yeah,
England have
so
one
there's a
Jimmy.
lot of pressure like already playing on them. The kind of pressure that is on you when you have underperformed and it's day 3. That kind of
Yeah.
pressure, they're already feeling it. So there's no
Yeah.
going back from it unless there is
Yeah.
something monumental.
Yeah, totally. England have one Jimmy, but right now they need three. But then who doesn't? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. True.
They have a
James
Stuart
Brilliant.
Broad, they
Yeah.
have an Archer. I think that's decent enough for today.
Yeah.
A dream partnership for me to watch Rishabh and Rohit batting together. We
Yeah.
okay. Let's
Yeah.
let's see what can happen there. I think we just lost Atul, but Prathamesh, your final comments. What do you expect to happen tomorrow?
I mean, well, I could possibly do well with another Rohit Sharma 100. I mean, definitely that could be on the cards. More importantly, I want to see Ajinkya Rahane get a big score tomorrow. I feel a lot will depend, like his performance, his confidence, etc. Everything will grow going into the fourth test and possibly going into the World Test Championship final in England. About this test match, I said yesterday as well, I don't see it going beyond day 3, not even into day 4. I don't see it happening even more so now. The pitch is such that the ball will turn a little more coming on to the final session of the day tomorrow. What we see in India, especially because of the dry condition in places like Ahmedabad, because of the moisture, that patch that is near your crease, which gets used a lot, it becomes very moist in a way, it becomes very wet, and it doesn't, suit bowlers in any condition. So I think that's where this is a problem that we faced slightly during the Kolkata pink ball test. This is a problem that we are going to face big time in this test match. Just where I feel the bowlers have to make sure that the first session is absolutely spot on, because second and third session it's going to be difficult for those pacers, especially four of them now. So then Leach and Root have to bowl slightly more. Talking about I think Amey Jaykar's comment, Rohit and Rishabh batting together, that would be a dream. But I hope that happens only after Rahane scores a big innings and Rohit is batting. So that's the hope. Realistically, I don't see India going beyond a lead of 200. But then this team has shocked us a lot of time in the recent past. I won't be shocked if that happens as well. From the English point of view, get wickets. Focus on getting wickets. Don't keep a deep point to Jack Leach over right-handed batsman. Keep a long on if you want. It will entice. Try to flick and get a single. Probably get a wicket there off the edge somewhere down the line. But try to get those wickets. Try to wrap India under, say 200, 220, and then you have a game on. So, and England are not out of this by any means. We have seen how well they bowled in the Chennai test in the first test, I guess, the last day of the first test where they got quick wickets early on. They have the ability to do that. So I think they can do that, and if they do that, it will be game on. But I don't see it happening, to be honest.
But they have the whole first session to bat. Like that's a.
Yeah,
I think Virat is very confident about batting in the first session, like about his entire team. Obviously, I'm not talking about Virat.
yeah,
So yeah, considering that, I thought there's going to be a big lead. If
yeah,
something like unforeseen happens, I don't know, but as clearly as I can see, that India is going to have a very good first session.
What do you
yeah,
Yeah,
think of
I obviously it's advantage Team India, but as we've seen on multiple occasions, games have been lost from such
Yeah,
big
but
advantages in many
today
number
could
of
have been
lines. You
totally
never know.
different, but I'm not talking about because uh, the Stokes catch it could have been taken. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. So these pacers
could have been different. Yeah,
have been robbed of their wickets from through umpires call, through these dropped catches. Ollie Pope dropped a catch of Anderson. So like there have been like these pacers are actually bowling well. Like England didn't do the wrong thing by picking up these many pacers. Like just because India have taken three spinners doesn't mean England's playing 11 choice was wrong. At least the bowlers was totally correct because they have been able to apply themselves here on this pitch. So the problem
interesting.
lies in the entire setup that
Yeah,
like I don't understand like Ollie Pope I just did not understand that kind of a drop. Maybe it was the pressure, but when you are fielding at the slips, I think that's one catch that is always being practiced like
sometimes.
repeatedly.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's what you
Ritama,
always
just the over before that, the Rohit Sharma catch which he was attempting, I think that was just.
yeah.
I think
Brilliant.
that could have been one of the catches of the season had he
exactly, and
picked that. Maybe that was
like
playing in his
I
mind.
was totally like I couldn't believe my eyes when he dropped a sitter like that. So
Yeah, I think
can you understand?
fielders do get a little upset, especially with those kind of things. We were so close to achieving something
Yeah,
so
I
glorious.
think
Maybe
that might
that
have
could have
been
failed.
the reason.
Yeah,
There
Yeah.
was some
He was
pressure.
bleeding.
That's again, it
Yeah,
comes down to pressure. It
yeah,
yeah.
was there, and
He
yeah,
was
everyone and
bleeding as
body
well.
language wasn't well. They
yeah. He
knew
was
that
bleeding.
some
Yeah,
decisions are
well,
He
not
was
going
bleeding.
their way. They knew that they are not getting a benefit of doubt anywhere except the soft signal because I don't believe in soft signals anymore in cricket. I am done with soft signals. But yeah, again, it's what Amit or some comment said. Like there was this comment that soft signal is based on how the fielders react. So I don't believe in
yeah.
that.
Yeah, Siddharth says Pope Sharma sweep moment would have been one of the moments of the decade. Yes, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
very close, man. I was like off my seat at that point. Had he picked that catch, I think that would have been
yeah.
brilliant from a neutral perspective. I wouldn't have wanted that for that to happen. But Atul, uh, final comments for tomorrow. What do you expect to happen tomorrow?
I think India might be bundled out around 280 to 300.
Very interesting question, Atul.
I don't know at this point if they missed him or not because as Shritama said, Anderson, Broad, and even Jofra Archer did bowl beautifully, and Jack Leach is doing his best in the Test match. I think he's bowling beautifully as well. So I don't think
Yeah,
they missed Mark Wood because if they had to pick someone like a Mark Wood, I think they would have gone with Ollie Stone because he has much more of a match practice. So something on that, and I think India might be bundled out for 280 to 300 tomorrow. And apart from it, I see England batting in the third session. That's it.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So we've had like an umpire's call discussion. We've had the spirit of the cricket discussion. We've covered plenty of topics today inside 1 hour 20 minutes than we've done in more one. I think we've had longer sessions than this, and we've covered far less topics. So kudos to all of
yeah,
you people. Thank you for giving some amazing content. As it stands, in
yeah,
the last 4 or 5 days, we've been lurking around landmark numbers as far as subscribers are concerned. 3 days back, we were lurking around 690 when the live was going on. I was hoping we reach that landmark number while we were live, but
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen today as well. It's 983 as it stands. Thank
Ah,
you again. Especially the last 4 or 5 days, from
yeah,
600 to almost 900 something. It's been a drastic
Yeah.
rise. Thank
Anurag, it's
you to
basically from
everyone.
450 or something. It's been an extreme, influx, and we want to thank
Yeah,
everyone because I think
absolutely, man.
massive credit
Especially
for
our
all of
family
you guys.
members. I mean, I think my
Yeah,
dad is right there outside his weight. He's just
My
put
mom is
everything on
also
mute. He doesn't want to
surprised.
listen.
She texted
Thank
me
you
like
so much.
3 days
thank
ago,
you.
and like suddenly, like, do I have to subscribe? I'm like, what is this question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, and
When
she
thank you,
did
thank
like
you
when
it
so much,
was post
mom, as well.
midnight. She texts me and she
Yeah,
yeah,
like talks about cricket as much as she knows. Like my
yeah,
dad
yeah,
was someday, but he wouldn't
yeah.
subscribe. So my mom is better.
yeah.
Anurag,
Even
I
Nathan
mean,
has been very helpful in that
yeah,
regard,
Nathan has been
and
very
all our
helpful.
parents and all our people especially. And I think we've gone very long today. Uh, so firstly, thank you so much to all four of you for joining. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Until then, have a nice day, guys. Uh, keep it locked to the Sport Join. Please do subscribe to the
Okay.
channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much.